most often this simple yet very powerful concept called data dictionary is often forgotten and is often neglected by most of the researcher. And since in research leading to PhD degree gives us lot of opportunity to learn new things, which we can utilize them going further in our career, advanced career, like writing proposals for funding. Now, this data dictionary is, I personally suggest to all of you, you must have a data dictionary for all the research projects you are handling, whether it's a PhD or any research project that where you are an investigator, principal investigator, or a co-investigator. We should have the data dictionary for the purpose of bringing clarity to the project and clarity to the data analysis, how we are going to do them. Now, question comes, what is a data dictionary? Now, data dictionary is a structured document that provides detailed information about each and every variable they are included in the research study. Now, we have been discussing this research design and research methods from beginning that we should have a research framework or research design framework. And in that framework, we discussed all the possible variables they can be part of the research, and the framework will discuss how each and every variable can have its impact on the research outcome. Now, when whole research is all about managing all the variables, and if we do not have a document on each and every variable, how they will be utilized in the research, then we may be getting confused some point of time in our research journey, or we may miss out some of the important things which could have been done as a part of the research. So essentially, this data dictionary will help you to document each and every variable in a very structured manner. Now it defines what each variable means. That means when we pick up a particular variable for the purpose of our current research, that particular variable means something. For example, if we are taking age as a variable, whether age is in completed years or age as in running years, age is in completed years or age is in completed months. So what is that? What does that mean? So we have to define each variable by its definition. What does that mean? How it is measured? As we have already discussed in our earlier part of the conceptual framework, each variable must be measured in some unit which will be useful for our research. If we are not documenting that, some point of time it may happen that if we are working on diabetes, for example, and in certain data is available to us in random blood sugar, that is milligram of sugar per deciliter of blood, which generally random blood sugar measures. And we have certain respondents whose blood sugar is available in HbA1c, which is measured in unit. Then what will happen? The scale for HbA1c will be, let's say, from, let's say, 2 till 10 or 2 till 11, 12. However, your RBS is units available from, let's say, 40, 50 till 5, 600, 700. So both are not comparable. If we are not defining in what unit the particular variable is measured, then we will be creating lots of problem for data analysis for ourselves in our own research. Then codes. If you look big research like NFHS, like NSSO, like your DLHS, like census, everything is managed through a code. Now, for example, if we just want to highlight the occupation of our respondent in, let's say, 8 or 9 categories. Some are service holders, some are business persons, some are farmers, some are professors, some are students. Like this, suppose we have got 9 categories. 9 categories, we cannot do the analysis in SPSS or in MS Excel by putting their name as it in subjective term. It has to be coded. Coded means one stands for student, two stands for business person, three stands for job holders, four stands for service, five stands for self-employed, whatever is there, because we know very well if our approach will be quantitative mechanism or quantitative approach. Data analysis can be done through numerical scales or numeric in numbers only. The text in the data will not help to do some kind of quantitative analysis. Imagine if we are managing one variable with 9 different categories and these categories are not coded, we will not be able to carry out any quantitative analysis. So all the data categories must be coded in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we must know which category reflects which type of job or whatever category for which we are measuring the code. Each code should talk about what does it measure. So codes are very, very important. Some of the Likert scale, you must be working that 1 to 10, 1 is very good, 1 being least happy, 10 being the highest happy. So now, if that is the codes are given, then we must understand up to what scale each code means. That should be documented in that data dictionary. And storing, as we know that when data is collected, it has to be stored somewhere. And while you start analyzing your data, when you start collecting your data, it's not like that one data set will be working on. There may be multiple data sets. There will be multiple components of data sets. Maybe your background variable, socioeconomic background, they can be stored in one data set. Then all of your medical background of that respondents will be stored in another set of variables. Then your the surgical information of those patients will be stored in another database. And all the follow-ups, if you are doing for the patients, they will be stored in another database. So each of these variable where it is stored, they must be mentioned quite well in the data dictionary. So data dictionary, as we know that research is all about science. The very basic difference between science and art or science and humanities is that interpretation for science will be similar, doesn't matter who is interpreting that. But for humanities, in arts and other things, the interpretation differs from person to person. So, since we are managing science, we have to ensure whatever we do, it will be interpreted same by you, same by your guide, same by all the other people who will be stakeholders to your research. Now, because of that, as I said, this data dictionary acts as a bridge between researcher, your field staff. Sometimes, although you are the researcher, you may be depending upon certain other people, maybe on some of your students, if you are a faculty, or some of your friends who can help you collecting data from the field, from the respondents who are part of your sample of your research. Now, since they will be collecting data and you do not have time to explain everything to them, this data dictionary will be used by them as the reference point. They should know what does that mean. If they stuck in something while collection of the data is going on, they may refer to the data dictionary and get the details what exactly they need to collect. And during data analysis, we know that although we are researchers, we often take the help of statisticians because of the fact that we medical students, we healthcare science students, we do not give very often importance to statistics. And some point of time, we need the help of a statistician. And we have seen during many presentations the communication between the researcher, the understanding between the researcher and statistician is so bad. The result that used to be presented as a analysis or as the outcome of the research is pathetic. It's not that problem of the statistician or problem of the researcher. It's the understanding between the researcher and the statistician that creates problem. So to nullify that problem, to negate this problem, if this data dictionary is already there, and you can save a quite lot of time when you are dealing with managing your statistics and managing analysis either by yourself, or you take the help of a statistician to do those stuff for you. So data interpretation, everything will be very, very clear, very, very easy, very, very simple if a data dictionary is available to you. Now, going further, what are the components we must keep in the data dictionary if we are managing all the variables in the data dictionary? Number one is the variable name. In our last assignment, we discussed that we should list out all the variables. And although this has been submitted, but that needs again a very, very thorough look that what exactly we need variable. Variable means an unique component or unique change which changes with each and every individual who are part of your research. So that is called a variable. So while we create our data dictionary, we must give the name of the variable. It should be short and unique so that most of the time, if age is one variable, we can give that name as age. Gender, we can give that another variable for each respondent for our research. Gender varies for each one of them uniquely. Then BP systematic, if BP systolic, if we are collecting systolic blood pressure from our respondents, then we have to give that name as blood pressure underscore systolic. And if we are collecting blood pressure diastolic, then we can write BP underscore diastolic. So that name has to be given. So that will be the identifier for that variable in your research. Because your research is unique. You are the architect of your research. If you are not designing that architecture efficiently, then others will never ever get understanding about what you are just trying to do. So if this is available, believe me, during your defense, during your progress, everything can be managed so smoothly, there will not be any confusion whatsoever. So first component will be a variable name. Then second component of your data dictionary for the variable will be the label that you are giving and description you are providing for that variable. Now, for example, one variable you have included in the variable list is age. Now, you have to define in the second component that what does age mean in your research. Now, if we have to define that in our data dictionary, we may write age of the respondent in completed years. So that is the meaning. If you make it more elaborative, then you can say age of the respondent in completed years as of 1st June 2025. If you want to calculate that age as of that cutoff line, then you can still consider that as the definition or description for that particular variable. Then similarly, if you want to give that blood pressure, systolic blood pressure, then you can write a description like during the data collection, on the date of data collection, the blood pressure will be measured by the digital blood pressure machine, and whatever systolic blood pressure will be coming, that will be reported. Or if you want, very well in medical science, one measure of blood pressure may not be considered as correct one. So as a researcher, if you feel no, I'll have to take three blood pressure, which one is, two close things, I'll just take that one. Or I'll just take second measure, I'll just do the measurement two times. And second measure, I'll just take because in the first instance, the patient may be little bit of stressed or not comfortable or coming walking for certain time. So blood pressure may not give the right reading. So in that case, you can write the respondent's blood pressure will be measured 3 times during the collection of the data. Then the best or the second measure will be taken as the recording or as the blood pressure which will be used in the research. So if imagine if you are writing this, then whoever does this blood pressure collection, whoever measures the blood pressure and puts that in the data collection form for you, then it will be all the 500, 600 sample you are collecting everywhere, the same protocol will be used. Now we talk about protocol, but if this data dictionary will be the first step to your protocol, then you define how the data will be collected and how the data will be interpreted. Then third component of data dictionary will be the data type. Remember, we talked about the different data type. We talked about any variable can be a continuous variable, can be a discrete variable, can be a categorical variable. We talked about all these things. Now, while data is collected, if our data dictionary specify what is the data type, for example, continuous numeric, that means the moment continuous numeric is mentioned as the data type, we are collecting the continuous data. We are collecting it on a scale. If, for example, age I am asking, then I am asking actually age of the person based on the description you have given for that variable. And its type will be continuous numeric. Then it could be categorical. If the same age you are using, but you have written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 means less than 20, 2 means 20 to 40, 3 means 40 to 60, 4 means 60 to 80. If that is done, then that is a categorical form. Now, while you will be writing this categorical in your data dictionary, you are very, very clear why you are collecting data in categorical form for the variable called age. So you are clear, your whole analytical ways going further. You are also clear if you are collecting data in categorical form. Am I going to face any difficulties while I'll be doing this analysis? So that help you'll be getting while you do your data dictionary for all the variables. String data is, we know, it's a combination of both text and as well as numerical thing, like your ID number, patient hospital ID number. It could be patient name underscore something. So that could be example of string. Date format. So if data is collected in date, in what format of date will be used in the form, whether it's day first, month second, year third, or other way, whatever things you feel that needs to be collected. Boolean means all the data in yes and no format. Dichotomous format, they are called Boolean format. Either it's yes or no. That is called Boolean. So if we can just give particular variable, what format it is, it will be of huge help to you while you will be planning your analysis and data management. Then unit of measurement, we have already discussed earlier during our conceptual framework building. And each thing we have to give the measurement, because if the measurement will be there in the data, in the database, you will be having huge problem in doing the analysis of the data. Imagine if you are collecting age in years, and imagine in your Excel form or in your database records or in SPSS, it's written 25 years, 26 years. No database in the world will be helping you to do the analysis if any text is there written along with your data. It has to be in numeric only. So the units of measurement, it has to be recorded somewhere, but not in the database. Same, for example, you are collecting diabetes, blood sugar level, and you are just putting 120 milligram per deciliter in the data format. Then it will be creating a huge problem going further while you do the analysis of your data. So from that perspective, we have to be very, very clear. And in the data dictionary, for each of the variable, we have to mention what is the unit of measurement in order to bring the clarity. Then value label and codes, as I say that codes have to be provided here. For example, if we collecting one is for male, we have to write one, two is for female, we have to write two. Sometimes we do confuse. Data is collected in one, two, or urban is one, rural is two. But once we do the data analysis in SPSS, we forget that what is the level it was given. Although SPSS has uh, the features to record all of your levels, but if during data collection and if your data dictionary doesn't have those data levels in the beginning, the confusion may happen any point of time. Then you have source. And while a data is collected, and once you collect the data and uh, make the data together into data file for analysis, you may need data from multiple sources. Uh, Maybe a particular patient's data, you need some data which will be uh, asked directly to the patient through interview you can collect, and some data you can take from the EHR file or from the lab test reports. So each of the variable, if you can mention whether this data is collected from the questionnaire and question number, or it is collected from the records of the patient, or it is collected from the lab report. So you have to mention those things in the data dictionary so that the data credibility can be defined any point of time. And finally, we have to give the range and valid values. Now imagine you have given code for gender as 1 and 2, and somebody in the data has mentioned 4 there. That means you know that if 4 is written, that means there is something wrong in the data entry format. So before you put your data into analytical form, you have to run a complete quality check. If the range and valid values are already defined for your data variables, then it will make your life much easier while you are doing the quality analytics or quality checks for your data. For example, if you have given the blood pressure RBS, somebody has mentioned 1022. So that means it's very unlikely a person will be having a random blood sugar of 1025. Even if 900, 800 of blood sugar may be very, very questionable. So in that case, if you are just giving a kind of range, then while you will be running your data quality, then it is very, very easy for you. You can say that show me all the records where it is not within the range that is already defined in the data dictionary. Then you will be getting all of your outliers in the data. Then it will be easy for you whether to keep them one by one, you review them, keep them, or remove from your data before you take your data for analysis. That's what it's going to help you, this data dictionary. Now, these are the, I think, 7 components. You can keep these 7 components as the mandatory components. If you want to add anything more, you can add them. And you can create a format for your data dictionary. This format, eventually, I have created a format like this. So you can use the same format, and this format is available in the document that we have already given you as the reference document. This is already available. You can pick up this to use as the data dictionary for all of your variable. Now, in this format, you can start with all the variables. Some studies, they find around 300, 400 variables in their research. If you have got a question in the questionnaire of 100 questions, at least I can guarantee you there will be more than 150 variables will be there in your research study. Now, all the variables, how each variable will be used in your research to satisfy all the objectives, to answer all the research questions, and to test all the hypotheses. If the data dictionary is there, any statistician can tell you if you can just do a test of hypothesis by using this data or not. So do not miss a single variable name when you mention your data dictionary. Just write this variable name, their description. Description means how you define that particular variable for the purpose of the research you are carrying out. Then data type we have discussed. Then units of measurement that we have discussed. Wherever it is not directly linked, you can put not applicable. Then value codes you can just give. For example, gender you can give one for male, two for female, three for others. And diabetes self-reported, if it is there, zero for no, one for yes. Whatever you feel, to convert them into numericals for facilitating the analysis, you can just give the coding. Then source from where it is coming, you can just put the source from where this data is coming. For example, we have two variables as far as diabetes is concerned. So what, imagine you are asking a patient, are you diabetes? Then the patient will be, we have already mentioned, patient will be saying either yes or no. I am not diabetic, I am diabetic. For that we are putting zero as no, one for yes. But we do have another diabetes as variable, that is we are measuring of that person's RBS during the survey. If we are just doing that, we have to define that it is measured on that day, and it is a continuous numeric value, and it is measured, unit is milligram per deciliter in blood, and value is from 40 to 900. Whatever measurement we just get, we'll have to write in the in our data collection form. And source is its glucometer during the survey, and range is this. And missing code, if somebody is saying no, I do not want to get my diabetes or blood sugar done during the data collection data collection time, then at that time you can write 999. That means it is missing code, the patient doesn't want to accept or to get the diabetes done. So the moment we see all these things, we have got a complete fair idea which data, which variable, how it will be behaving during your time of your analysis. So this is all about your data dictionary. And if you find this is very, very long to manage all of your variables, you can create one format for each of your section of your questionnaire. If you are doing certain surveys, then you can keep your socioeconomic background variable as one segment for data dictionary. Uh, all the medical and clinical related stuff you can manage as another segment of data. So that you can do the way our National Sample Survey Office, the OL, huge data collection formats are there, and data dictionary is managed separately for separate section, so that it will be easy how we can connect one sections to another section. If in isolation we have to do the analysis of that particular section, how we are going to manage them. So all these things you can manage very well if you have a data dictionary with you. So this is all about the data dictionary. I am specifically suggesting all of you, you should have a data dictionary for all of the variables that is included in the research. Now you can write down all these things. The moment you have your questionnaire you are doing, at that time also, the moment you add one question, you are creating one variable by default. Just simply do not add question into your questionnaire or that instrument you are using collecting them. Ask yourself, what is the variable I am generating from asking this question, so that I'll be utilizing them in my analysis. Then once we'll be talking about various analytical methods, then you can think if this information, if this variable is of useful to me as far as the analysis I'm planning to do or not. Then that kind of clarity you will be getting while you create your data dictionary, while you prepare your questionnaire. Then it will be a very, very important document for you. Believe me, this is not only a kind of exercise you are doing, it will give you huge amount of clarity for your analysis. It will provide you a huge learning skill if you will be writing a kind of funding proposal to any of the international funding agencies. In all these areas, it's going to be useful. And if you are going to make a career in research, either in market research, health research, biomedical research, whatever research, and through third party research agencies, data dictionary is a must.